What's going on, stackers? What's going on, stackers? I watch it happen every day. Traders with clean structure, they caught the trigger, price action lined up with the daily, 3 green lights, and they still lose the trade. You know why? They never hit confirmation. They ran the red light with the whole setup already built. Today we're going to talk about the C in the stack method, which is confirmation. This is where most traders get it twisted because confirmation is about adding more lines to your chart. It's not ego and it's not extra indicators. Confirmation is one thing, the tool layer that validates what price already told you. Here's the truth about stack. You got S for structure, which is price action, zone, order flow. Trigger, price action, the engulfing, the break. You got alignment, which is price action. The daily agrees with the 4-hour or the weekly. And then you got K, which is keep discipline, your behavioral gate. But confirmation is different. Confirmation is the only letter that lives in the indicator world. Confirmation means that you have visual, institutional validation that the setup is actually live. Not supposed to be live, not looking live, actually live. On the Wolf Chart 2.1, that lives in 3 places. The WTMA state, arc or inverse arc, the institutional alignment, which is what I call the institutional gate, and the lock candle status. That's your confirmation. When those 3 stack up, your C scores are 1. When they don't, the C scores are 0. No gray area, no kinda confirm. It's binary. C is the taste before you played it. All right, so let's go through all of the letters in the stack method all at once leading up to confirmation, right? So looking at the month, you got no 200 because this is a fairly new ticker, but the trend is the 12 EMA, which is this blue or red dynamic cloud. Got the weekly, which is over the 200, and price action is above the trend. So we already know we're aligned on 2 time frames. Here's the 3rd time frame. Got a blue over the 200. Now we just need a WTMA reclaim over this signal line and everything will be aligned. But if you drop down to the 4-hour, you will see exactly what I mean. Got the 200, WTMA, floating candle, and holding over the 12. This is what I mean by confirmation. This is a confirmation to enter a swing trade on ANET right now. Because if you look at it, you line up the order blocks on the left side of the chart right here, you get this VRVP profile to be more accurate. This is why ANET shot up the way it did, because these nodes are tapered off in the areas where it had to push through. So now we're entering another void area for it to just go up to either this trend line or this high node area, which also aligns itself with this inverse arc on the 4-hour and this arc on the 4-hour. So this is what I mean by confirmation. Everything compiles into each other all the way up to confirmation. And then once you're in the trade, the only thing you have to worry about really is keeping your discipline, which is the next lesson after this video and the last video of this series. Now let's go to a bad example of confirmation. All right. So here's Adobe, clearly under the 200 now, in a super crazy downtrend. So you already see what's happening. Alignment there, still bearish. Alignment here, still bearish. So would it make sense for you to enter calls or to buy Adobe shares at this current price when you know that it is in a severe downtrend? No, it does not. This is the whole point of the confirmation system. Even if we even go down to the lower time frames, you will still see that this is very shortable. All right, right now it's sweeping on this 2 hour. On this 2 hour demand zone that we have, that does not warrant you to buy calls or buy shares here. Looking at the 15, we might have an inverse arc, but you can see that every time it formed, it just kept going down. So look, now we have an inverse arc right here. It's trying to tell you that Adobe will go up, but what does Adobe keep doing every time it inverse arcs up? Since it's in this downtrend so bad that it's not going to go up anytime soon until they find a floor. So this is why confirmation is so important, because any normal trader would look at a particular candlestick and they'd be like, man, that's a hammer. I think it's going to go up tomorrow. And then they get into the trade and the trade goes against them immediately. They're discouraged off the rip. And then if they don't have a plan, which is the keep discipline part, they just hemorrhage their portfolio over and over and over, and they will have to start from square zero each and every time. Quick one before we keep going. If you're not subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that button. Next week, we lock in on the K and stack, which is keep discipline. That's where all of this comes together. Let's get it. So C feeds directly into K, because without confirmation, you don't actually know the setup is live. You've got your structure, you got your trigger, you got your alignment, but you're flying blind on the one question that matters the most. Is institutional flow stepping in right now? That's where confirmation matters. STA together, that's 3 out of the 5. Decent, but not high enough conviction. You've got the map, but no compass. Add C, and you're at a 4 out of 5. Structure validated by institutional movement. The jump from 3 to 4 is the difference between I think this works and this is confirmed. 5 letters, 5 checks. Miss one and your win rate drops. Here's what people get wrong about C. They think the wolf chart is the confirmation alone. They think the indicator replaces price action. That's incorrect. The wolf chart 2.1 with the WTMA cloud, lock candle, floating candle, that's the filter, the validation layer. C doesn't replace structure, trigger, alignment, or keep discipline. C confirms them. The indicator confirms what the price action has already suggested. Price is your primary signal. The wolf chart is your secondary validator. You don't need the wolf chart to understand stack, you don't need the wolf chart to understand the stack method, but the wolf chart makes the C automatic. 3 takeaways before you go. 1, C is indicator confirmation. It's the only letter in stack that requires a tool. STA and K live in price action and in U. C lives in institutional flow. 2, C scores 0 or 1. No partial credit. The WTMA either confirms or it doesn't. The institutional flow either aligns or it doesn't. Lock candle either printed or it didn't. You don't negotiate with the indicator. And 3, confirmation sits between alignment and keep discipline. Alignment checked the big picture. Confirmation validates the micro setup, and keep discipline is the final gate. Structure, trigger, alignment, confirmation, discipline. Join us in the trading room, free Discord, link in the bio. Next week, we lock in on the K, which is keep discipline, where confirmation becomes execution. Confirmation over prediction. Stay stacked.
Supply getting swept, OB overhead. Now the path is said, I don't guess, I don't hope, I don't bet, I run the protocol. I ain't lost shit. They ask me